Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna go over Fairhill. Now, to be honest, I don't know too much about Fairhill, but we're gonna find out. Fairhill was featured in my video regarding one of those neighborhoods that could definitely have more opportunities in Philadelphia. So we're going to take a deep dive look. We're going to look on the map and we're going to see the roads, where people shop, and what goes on in Fairhill. Fairhill is in Fairhill. Okay, here we are in Fairhill today. To be honest, I don't really know much about Fairhill, but I know about it, but I also don't know too much about it. Mainly because I didn't even know this area was called Fairhill. I know I always drive through it. So when I saw it on the map, I was like, oh yeah, now I know exactly where that is, what that is. Okay, let's go. So here we go. So Fairhill is definitely it's next to Kensington, to the regular Kensington, East Kensington, West Kensington, and Glenwood. It is right next to, it's not too far. It's like adjacent to like Nicetown and Tioga, and right below Huntington Park. There is the St. Christopher's Hospital of Children. There's the SPCA, which is like right here, which I kind of didn't really know it was there, but I knew it was on Erie Avenue. I just never been there. Normally, when I go to the animal shelter, I always go to the municipal shelter at ACT, and that's in Huntington Park. Now, Fairhill is definitely featured in my Opportunities video, so here we go. Now, Fairhill is not that big. It borders B Street it's bordered by B Street. There is right here, there is, if I remember correctly, is West Lehigh Avenue. Then it goes up on North Warnock Street and then borders along, and then it kind of curves up around West Glenwood Avenue. You have the train tracks that are right here. The closest station is North Philadelphia train station, and you can also use the Philadelphia train station for Broad Street line. Okay, so there is the major routes is definitely West Allegheny Avenue. There is the Steaston Middle School right here in this area, and then there's Cramp. Well, that's not a very good name for it, but okay. Elementary School. Right here in Fairhill, you have the ShopRite, you have the McDonald's, and you have Temple University Hospital, the SB Hospital. Okay, so that's right there. You have the Philadelphia County Assistance Office, and there is the True Value Hardware Store, Perfect Touch. You have the Muniz Marion Louise Elementary School, and several daycares. You have Brightside Academy. I never sent my kids to Brightside. They're pretty expensive, but okay. But anyway, there is several. There's a lot of auto parts places. That's one thing about North Philly. You will find there's a lot of mechanics in the area. So, as I've showcased in my other videos, if you got a chance to look at my Opportunities videos and the deeper dives in those videos, there are a lot of mechanics and a lot of mechanic shops in the area. That's mostly the small businesses in the area. I mean, there's several restaurants that goes through these areas that really post shop on West Allegheny Avenue. Now, as a tip to get in and out of the city, most people like to use, if you're in the northern part of the city, a lot of people like to take North 2nd Street going down. North 2nd Street takes you right into Center City. It takes you right into Old City. So if you can see, North 2nd Street goes down past Kensington, past Northern Liberties. If you see my Northern Liberties video, there's a lot of shops right here. North 2nd Street is basically where it's at. Spring Garden. And North 2nd Street literally takes you right on into this area, which is Center City area, and you can get there pretty quickly. It's just one route. It's a one way down. You have you have parking on both sides of the street, but it's a 2 lane street, so it is pretty much a fast tracked highway down into Center City without if you live closer on this side of things and you don't want to take Route 1, you don't want to take Broad Street, you don't want to take 95, people take Second Street and get down to the city really, really quickly. Now, to get out of the city, adjacent to it is basically North Fifth Street. So North Fifth Street basically starts from the same place, um, same area. You can take North Fifth Street, and that's one way up north, and it basically takes you in and out pretty quickly. It's the same thing as North Second Street. It's a 2 lane street, and there's a lot of small businesses in on those two strips. Well, mainly on North Fifth Street, there's a lot of businesses, but it's a pretty but Fifth Street is really a good way to get in and out. So it's like, take for instance, I guess North Second and North Fifth is basically like the North Philadelphia equivalent to Chestnut Street and Walnut Street for West Philly, because Chestnut Street takes you into the city and Walnut Street takes you out of the city. Um, and but North Second and North Fifth take you is like the equivalent for North Philly, I would say. Um, there's also North Front Street that people like to take. Not too far in Kensington, in West Kensington, you have York and Dolphin. That is the Market Frankfurt. These right here is the Market Frankfurt line, whereas right here is the Broad Street line. Obviously, it's called the Broad Street line because it goes down Broad Street. The train only runs up and down Broad Street all day long. It does deviate a little bit, but that's more into the city. When you get more into Center City, it deviates off onto North 8th Street, but even then, that's like 2 stops. It doesn't really deviate that far. But anyway, back to Fairhill. Um, Fairhill is really, that's kind of where the North 2nd and the North 5th Street kind of starts in a way. You have Germantown Avenue, where you have the trolley that runs through here, as you can tell. There is a cemetery, Fairhill Cemetery. On the other side of that is the 12th and Cambria Recreation Center. That's a park. Um, and But yes, as you can tell, there's not a lot of supermarkets, like not a lot of major supermarkets except for the Save a Lot. Um, and if anybody's been to the Save a Lot, or if you know anything about Save a Lot, it's basically um, you have items and you go in and you have to pay for your bags. So it's a good grocery store. I like to get quick stuff, like if I'm out of milk, if I need cheese, if I need stuff really quickly for my family, I can get them very easily from the Save a Lot. And you go in with your own bag, you pay for it, and you get out. It's that type of grocery store, like where you just basically you can use like the boxes, that's for free. But if you need a grocery bag, you gotta pay for it if you don't bring your own in. And normally they're about like 20 cents a bag. Um, and that's basically that for a major supermarket. But if anything, they're really small mom and pop small grocery chain grocery stores, um, and there's a lot of corner stores in the area as well. As you can see, the streets have a lot of one ways, and the streets are pretty tiny. It's pretty congested and it's pretty dense in the area. Um, West Lehigh Avenue is where you get is where most of the businesses are. That's really what's happening. Is West Lehigh Avenue um, is basically the commercial shopping district of North Fairhill, um, and yeah, and there's the library right here, Lillian Morero Library. I'm sorry if I'm butchering up these names. You have Germantown Laundromat, um, and but yes, there is a lot of daycares that is considered small businesses. Um, Tropical Fish Store, which I never knew that was here. I wonder if they're even open. And that's not no shade or anything like that. It's just sometimes you can see like that's an odd thing to kind of have in the area, and sometimes that's those businesses don't last pretty long, or at least they do last long, but unfortunately the area is not able to keep up with it. That unfortunately you see a lot of deserted commercial spaces, deserted businesses, um, and you see a lot of places in disrepair where it's like it costs a lot of money to bring it up back up to life, and not everybody's ready to invest in this area. As in my opportunities video, even though there's opportunities in these areas, sometimes it's just not. Sometimes the work just needs to be done a lot. There needs to be a lot more work done in the area and for that particular building than what the area in the market normally can really handle. So, but nevertheless, there's always opportunities. That's how I feel in real estate. There's always opportunities to be had. Maybe it may not happen today, it may not happen tomorrow, it may happen in the future. It will definitely happen in the future. But nevertheless, this is Fairhill. There's a little bit more going on. It's more businesses because there's more. You have West Lehigh Avenue in this particular section that basically just takes over. That basically is where most of the businesses are. You have North Second Street that gets you into the city, and North Fifth Street that takes you out of the city. And then there's also West Allegheny Avenue, which is also a major main street, and West Glenwood Avenue is there's also a lot of businesses on this area around here. Probably not so much, but there is. And of course, we definitely have a lot of auto shops. So that's it for Fairhill.